Hi, it's me, the autistic Gen X software developer with anxiety and depression. Some call me Tim. And I shake my head when I say software developer because I don't really feel like one anymore. I'm not a software dev anymore. I'm an old ass software dev, and I think that means something different. Um, Nowadays, I think developers are judged on their ability to do leak code examples and to be able to whip out extremely terse and inefficient code to solve a problem. And that if you were to try and do it manually or simply, where it would be verbose but fast, that's viewed as poor. At least in the kind of jobs that I interview for. Maybe not. Maybe not everywhere, but certainly in the kind of places where I've worked, they don't really value somebody who can actually do the job. And the job is, could you solve this problem without the internet? I think that's the thing that nobody gives a shit about anymore. They used to care. Could you do this without looking it up? What if you didn't go to Stack Overflow? What if you couldn't Google it? Would you work it out? Because what happens when you run into a problem that nobody's ever solved before, or people that have solved it, is all proprietary and they're not going to tell you how they solved it because it's a secret. How are you going to do those? How are you going to solve those problems? If you have to be able to find a leak code example to do it or use a Python library, I mean, I don't know. So will I ever be a software developer again? Or I'm just going to be an old ass software developer and probably just the old ass. So yeah, I'm looking at doing new things. Besides making a game, I would love to be a professional poker player, and I would love to be a writer. I've written a book. It was a software book. It wasn't very popular. Sold a few thousand copies. Saw it in the store. That was cool. It was in a Barnes and Noble. I mean, that gave me chills. It was like, look, my book is on the shelf. It was really cool. But no, nobody bought it. Whatever. Software books. After writing the one, it was like this was dumb because they're like outdated in 6 months. It was like, I don't know. What a waste of trees for this. Everything should be online now anyway. But I did that. But I want to write a novel. I want to write a fiction book and be a professional poker player and make a game. And I can't even tell you all the other things that I want to do. And of course, I don't think I can do all those in the time I have left. I don't think I could do all those if I started when I was 10. Maybe I could. I don't know if they'd be any good. But here we are. So sometimes my mood changes and I feel like I could never do this anymore. Like yesterday, I felt very defeated and I felt like, well, never going to amount to anything. It was a pretty down day. And you know what? This morning I got up and I realized I forgot to take my meds yesterday. I don't know how I did that. I try every day to take them. It's very important. And that's part of how I know they do something, because when I miss them, even for a day, I can tell, but later, like I can look back on the day and be like, oh my God, yeah, I didn't take my pills. I didn't know I didn't take my pills. I would have told you 100%. Did you take your pills? Yeah, absolutely, I did. Why are you feeling bad? I don't know. And then the next day, it's like, oh, I forgot my pills. Yeah, I guess they do work. And then that makes me sad because if I don't have these meds, then what? Well, I wouldn't be here anymore. You know what I mean? Or like I'd be a horrible person. Like I don't know what does that mean? Shouldn't I? Maybe I shouldn't be a person anymore. I'm not equipped to live in this day and age. Those are thoughts I have. And then I look and I'm like, I didn't take my pills. And I take my pills this morning and I'm feeling better. And it's like, God damn it. I guess they work. I hate that they work. Because it also makes me numb inside and dead and crappy. And yet, I did therapy today. That was fun. We were talking about becoming grandparents and how that would change things, right? And my damn therapist, I kid you not, the first thing she said when I talked about how cool it would be if my kids ever have kids, right? The first thing she said was, "Oh, what are they going to call you?" My wife has been getting on me about this. What should they call you? And it's like, I think you all are nuts. Okay? When pilots don't give themselves a call sign, somebody else gives them a call sign. Like they call him Strawberry because he loves strawberry or whatever, right? You would never be like, I think you should call me a Strawberry, because if everybody gave themselves their nicknames, I mean, it would be a lot more fun. You wouldn't be calling a huge guy Tiny. He's never going to be like, I want you to call me Tiny. No, he'd be Thanos. Like, be like, call me John Wick, or Baba Yaga. I got to call him Strawberry or Fruit Loops. So how do I get to choose my own nickname? That doesn't seem like a thing. And I'm sorry, but when you call your grandparents Poppy and Gigi, those are nicknames. That ain't their names. That's not how the English language defines what you call your grandparents. It's grandparents, your grandmother and grandfather. Now, she said something interesting, that she said the new thing is to just say grand with a D. Like instead of grandmother, grandfather, it's just grand. It's like, that's kind of cool. But also, I want you to call me God, right? That's bad. Or you could be like, an uncle of mine who tells the kids, don't call me grandpa. Call me your uncle. I want you to call me your uncle, to the grandchildren or the great-grandchildren. Don't let the 25-year-old girl in my hot tub know that I'm 80. First of all, man, I think they know. Just gonna say, I think they know you're not 40. I don't even know how old you think they think you are, but it doubled that, my friend. But also, it's just weird. I don't now. Okay, but I called my grandma Grams. That was it. Grams. Grams. I don't remember making this decision. I don't know if somebody made it for me. But that's what I call her. I think I'm actually not sure what my children call their grandmother, my mom, because she's my mom. And so I call her Grams. When I'm talking to the kids about her, I call her what I called my grandma. And that's already confusing. Why is this a thing? There are so many other things we could worry about in our world, other than what will this fictitious child maybe call me sometimes? And why do I care? Well, I mean, I guess if they were going to call me something terrible, like Grandpapa or Grampy, be like, okay, that sounds really old. Could you call me something a little more Gen X appropriate, like Mario? I don't know. I don't know. So, years from now, maybe when there's a child that is related to me and they're sentient enough to speak English and realize the relationship, they'll come up with a name for me. What will that be? I don't know. Hopefully it's something flattering, but I don't know, man. It's a nickname. You can't give yourself nicknames. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry about the earlier sadness. It just happens, It's part of this stupid ass channel. Telling everybody how I'm feeling. So, do all the things for the algorithm. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to go take a nap, and hopefully my meds will kick in and I'll feel better when I wake up. Until next time. Peace.